You know, the last time we talked, you told me how you got this job. You told me how you came to this country, jumped the border, not being able to speak English. You lived, I think you told me, like you went to AM/PM and bought like the $1 hot dog, refillable drinks.
Big gulp.
Big gulp.
Yep. Greatest investment of my life. So I can do, refill.
Yeah. You told me how you started walking big packs of dogs, and you got discovered. Was it the LA Times that wrote?
LA Times.
Yeah.
LA Times. Followed me for 3 days.
Yeah.
After they saw me on the streets, said, like, it's a Mexican guy, in South Central and Inglewood that walks a packs of dogs off leash.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Rottweilers, pit bulls, German shepherds, and to me that was normal. That was just, coming from Mexico, we walk dogs off leash.
Yeah.
Our dogs are not purebred, but they're all dogs. So it's just the only difference. I was walking purebred dogs in America, but I was doing it the same way I did it in Mexico.
Yeah. Which is amazing. I mean, there's so much there, just with there, and then transition. You get this shot to do Dog Whisperer. You become the Dog Whisperer.
Correct. Yeah.
You become a proper noun. You're the Dog Whisperer.
The noun. That's right.
The Dog Whisperer, the one and only.
Yeah.
And you have a successful run on TV for years. With training and now this 40 plus acre ranch, and you've had your hard times too. You've had tragedy and trauma, and you have had your share of sand kicked in your face, betrayal.
Yes.
I want to know now, what are some of the lessons you've learned since we've talked last? And it's been about 5 years.
Yes.
I mean, we were just sitting back, chopping it up, reminiscing about the good old days and all that. Tracking my roots, where I came from and where I'm going.
I was prepared in a very funny way. My grandparents and my parents prepared me to be with nature. So I became very successful with nature. Just didn't have the same protocol or the same education of how to maintain trust, respect, love, or how to assess and evaluate people. You know what I mean? It's like they taught me how to assess and evaluate animals. Therefore, I prevented a lot of downs.
Yeah.
So I would say 99% of my life has been up with animals.
Yeah.
And with humans, since I wasn't taught to see humans as energy.
Right.
I wasn't taught to retain trust, respect, love. I wasn't taught to set rules, boundaries, limitations. You know what I mean? I was taught to be a good, honest, integrity, loyalty, but not to assess and evaluate that from the other person, as the other person has it as well.
And that sort of makes sense to me because, one, there's no bad animals.
Right.
There's no bad dogs.
Right.
Two, dogs never betray you.
No, they can't.
Only humans can.
Yeah, because it's unconsciously, what I learned about it is the world don't know that they don't know.
Yeah.
So it's just, we all are a victim of lack of knowledge, or the proper knowledge given to us, regardless of economical background. So I don't care if you're poor, middle class, or super rich, you should know the same thing. You should know how to trust yourself, how to respect yourself, how you love yourself. You should know how to do that with others.
Right.
So you at least can come with your most powerful tools, which is your instincts, your spirituality, and your emotions. As a father or as a person in a relationship, what you want to connect is you want to connect with your instincts. You want to connect with your soul. You want to connect with your heart. That's what you want. Not your mind.
Right.
You know what I mean? Your mind, you just utilize it to convey words or to do surprises.
Yeah.
But the connection doesn't come from the mind. The connection comes from your instincts. The connection comes from your spirit. Happiness. Pursuit of happiness is your spirit. Values, meaning, and purpose. So the values, what are your values? Honesty, integrity, loyalty. That means you live at the higher standards of being spirit. And the meaning is the meaning of life. Live in the moment.
Yeah.
Purpose is pursuit of happiness. So once you understand that you come from that, what do you want for your kids? To live an honest life, integrity life, loyalty, pursuit of happiness, live in the moment. Don't worry about the past and don't worry about the future. That is spirituality. And then the other part that you wanted to know is unconditional love to self and unconditional love to the family. So then they're going to expand this activity of love. And then instincts, use your body, but take care of your body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's the one ultimately does the work, your body.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it's really important what you're saying, and I want to unpack it just a little bit. This idea of unconditional love, because I think animals have this capacity, right?
Yeah.
And it's instinctual.
Yeah.
They just want to know their place in the world, what their job is, and they want to coexist. Maybe
Right.
be part
Cooperate.
of your operate, be part of your pack.
Yeah. No, cooperate.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like they have this innate desire of cooperation.
Right.
Yeah, it's their pack members, like the
Right.
pack oriented. And to them, it's not about the self, it's about the pack.
Right. Right.
And, we're the only species that go pack and self.
Right.
And so we gotta take time for ourselves.
Yeah.
That's a luxury, and that's a very human activity. You can go to Singapore, you can go to China by yourself and leave the pack behind.
Right.
That would never happen in a pack of bears, or in a pack of lions, or in a pack of bees.
Yeah.
That nobody would take a self vacation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that self-taking care part is a luxury. Only people that have money can do it, and at the same time, it's only human.
So going back to this idea of unconditional, and the reason I bring it up is because I know a lot of people. Maybe it's not specific to age, but I think maybe a lot of younger people, maybe in their teens, teenagers, or 20-somethings, they're trying to figure out where their passion is.
Yeah.
And maybe they have a lot of interests or things that they want to do. But I think sometimes, even, speaking from a parent's point of view,
Yes.
we have great intentions,
Yes.
but we sometimes impose conditional love. Like we say, oh, you should go to law school, Cesar,
Right.
or you should become a chef, or
Right.
it's sort of whatever is sort of in the parent's mind.
Yeah.
What is the message, like maybe to these younger people who are trying to find themselves when they're faced with this pushback? It feels maybe conditional when they're trying to find their passion. How do you find your passion?
But remember, one thing is about the parents is the parents ultimately what they want is for their kids to do good, right?
Yeah.
For the kids to be successful, because we measure success by money, fame, and power. So if they tell you be a doctor, they're thinking about money, they're thinking about power,
Yeah.
they're thinking about
Prestige.
prestige, which is fame, right?
Yeah.
So in the human world, that is a currency.
Yeah, it's the measure of success.
Yeah, and so back in the days, in the cave times, just make sure you're a good warrior, you're a good hunter, and you can build a house, and you can marry someone that way. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So the requirements were very primal.
Yeah.
They're still primal, but now you got to pay for it. Now you got to pay for the house. Now you got to pay for the water. You got to pay for the food.
The school.
Schools, education was free back in that time because it was not like the animals.
Yeah.
Animals raise themselves and they educate themselves. They don't send their kids to school.
Right.
Everything is done in their lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we need to understand that part, because a lot of times parents, they don't know they're imposing something. What they think is they are helping their kids to make a decision, and they would like to make it for them so they can hurry up and focus.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're seeing your kids. And many times parents will say, well, he's wasting his time because I would never do that.
Yeah, or are you sure that's going to work out? Maybe they want to become an artist or a musician or something, and you're afraid because we know statistically that's not the
because we
easiest
see it
path.
as a failure, not as an experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I mean, you can see where when your kids are little, where they fit in a pack. At the back of the pack, at the middle of the pack, at the front of the pack, and based on where they fit in the pack, and then that's the activities that you can actually encourage to say this is something that if you are not so sporty, where would you go?
Yeah.
If you're sporty or high level energy, well, this is the sports. You see what I mean? As the high level energy kids, they're more likely to become.
Sorry, guys.
No, this guy's
Playtime.
They're learning the rules and the boundaries and the response. Okay.
So how does someone know where they are in the pack, whether they're an adult or
Listen, let's just from put them into puppies, okay? So
Yeah.
people are because a lot of times when people say, "Oh, so that's the back of the pack," there's nothing wrong with back of the pack or middle of the pack, front of the pack.
Yeah.
It's find your place within the pack.
Yeah.
Let me show you. It's always going to be 3 positions in the pack, and watch how they call them. So if that puppy is the pick of the litter, it's only one.
Mm-hmm.
The ones who are in the middle of the pack are pet quality, and the one who is in back of the pack is the run of the litter. You see it? So even the breeders will label them as a position,
Yeah.
or
Top,
who,
middle, low,
who
yeah.
works. That's right. Or who in a football team, you got back of the pack guys, middle of the pack guys, and then you got Ronaldo.
Yeah.
You got Messi.
Yeah.
You see it? So even in any team, you need the back, the middle, and the front.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, those 3 positions are extremely important. The
Right.
back of the pack are very sensitive. The middle of the pack are happy-go-lucky. The front of the pack is the direction, protection, leadership. That's the leadership.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's nothing wrong with that. It's just understanding that they're going to function better if you understand the position in the pack.
Yeah.
So when my clients do not honor the position of the pack, they can empower a back of the pack dog to become a front of the pack dog.
Right.
You see, and that is going to make that dog extremely stressed because he wasn't born to lead the pack. So he becomes a fear biter.
And what is the result of that?
Well, the result of that is they become afraid of the dog. They say my dog doesn't like dogs. My dog doesn't like people.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because he's afraid of people.
Yeah.
And he has taken upon himself to bite in order for him to follow through
Yeah.
with his warnings.
So do you think the same thing carries over to people? Like
Yeah.
the same,
Yeah,
if you
of
try and put a square peg through a round hole, if you try to force someone into law school who's not meant to be a lawyer, we're going to have the same kind of results. Maybe the biting is, high anxiety, or maybe they get in fights or something like that.
Well, it's part of your identity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You were born for that position.
Yeah.
And you can be a pack leader in that position.
Yeah.
For example, a back of the pack dog, those are the only dogs who can actually give it to people with seizures. You can't give a middle of the pack dog or front of the pack dog to a human with seizures. Or if a human that has the sugar goes low, you need a back of the pack dog to be with a human who has physical biology, or in a way in the animal world, you have a weakness.
Yeah.
So if you have emotional weakness, or you're an emotional person, you get a middle of the pack, because
Yeah.
it makes your happiness go up.
Yeah, so it's almost like the yin with the yang, right?
Yeah.
You need to match it
You
properly.
need to match it. And,
Yeah.
and so if you want a police dog, a dog that is going to go through windows, a dog that is going to hear gunshots, a dog that is going to probably fight with a human, and then you need a front of the pack. You can't send a back of the pack or middle of the front.
Yeah.
Or middle of the pack.
My mind is going into like matchmaker relationship
Yeah.
psychology, like who you should be, a partner with, right?
Yeah, I was
Like,
watching a Netflix special about this Indian matchmaker.
Yeah.
And they go through astrology, and if this person matches the person they're going to marry,
It's the same
so
idea.
It's all energy. So they do it through the stars and the whole alignment thing.
Yeah.
For me, is understanding the energy of the human or the energy of the dog. I personally always pick happy-go-lucky dogs to be part of my pack. I have the knowledge. I don't pick front of the pack or back of the pack. From middle of the pack are like happy-go-lucky. So it's very simple, just to keep them calm, surrender, and then they go back to happy-go-lucky.
Yeah. Now, so are you front of the pack guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be what I am, yes. It's definitely we're the one that born with the protection and the direction. You know what I mean? So we're the one that are gonna go and say I'm gonna create something that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's our job.
Popping on the west side, cause it's where I stay. I just made 1,000, blew it in your face. I've been going in, I'ma close the case. I can't wait no more, man, I gotta blow today. Popping on the west side, cause it's where I stay. I just made 1,000, blew it Need a blue face, I've been caring about a race.